Good morning, you're watching Sunrise. I'm Sarah Jane Mee. We start today with the international manhunt for the driver behind the Berlin lorry attack. Police in Germany are intensifying their search for the man after Islamic State claimed responsibility for the crash at the Berlin market, which killed 12 people. Memorial services have been held in the German capital as details start to emerge about those victims. From Berlin, Mark White reports.
A day on and just yards from the scene of Monday night's devastating attack, Germany's Chancellor, alongside the country's President, joined hundreds of others for a memorial service. A tribute to the victims who were targeted as they visited one of Berlin's best-known Christmas markets. On the street surrounding that market, next to the Kaiser Wilhelm Memorial Church, many others listened to the service on loudspeakers, watched over by dozens of armed police officers. Tensions are high in the German capital amid the knowledge that the prime suspect in the attack is still at large. This is Polish lorry driver Łukasz Urban, shot and stabbed by the attacker who hijacked his lorry. The haulage company owner said his driver would have fought as hard as he could to prevent his vehicle being taken. And although the identity of the person who then drove that lorry into the crowded market is still unknown, the terror group Islamic State has claimed it was behind the atrocity. Michael Roden, the manager here at the Christmas market, witnessed those horrific scenes and saw the incredible bravery of fellow Berliners who rushed to help.
Everyone was panicking, but so many people helped, as did we, alongside the emergency services. It was a scene none of us will ever forget.
This Christmas market, a few miles from the scene of the attack, was closed as a mark of respect. Those still out shopping nearby told us they were determined to carry on as normal.
I don't think anyone's going to stop doing what they do, you know. Berlin's a very, very lively city, and I think people will be affected and maybe a little sad, a little hurt, you know, but people will go on.
We must continue our life, so just like is our culture. Yes. And a Christmas market is a part of it.
But normal here is far from easy. With the attackers still at large, investigators are urgently hunting for clues. In another poignant scene overnight, those who've been helping in the recovery of that evidence paused to pay their respects at the makeshift memorial. Mark White, Sky News, Berlin.
Well, our correspondent Nick Martin is live in Berlin for us this morning. And Nick, there is a real sense that after the police in Germany arrested the wrong man, they've lost a valuable amount of time in this manhunt.
Yeah, the police, wherever you are in the world, always talk about those important few hours after a major incident. Now, in this case, they captured what they thought was a suspect within the first few minutes. Early reports suggested that a man was seen running from the lorry, so it was a fair assumption, I suppose, by the police that he should be apprehended. But in doing so, they spent a lot of time on this man. They gave out a lot of information. They said he was originally from Pakistan. He'd come to Germany in February, had spent some time in a refugee centre. There was even some information about his sort of minor criminal past. All of this took a lot of time, and in doing so, they questioned him. They would have tried to get to the bottom of who he was. And then, of course, late last night, we heard that the chief prosecutor said, actually, he's not the man we're looking for, and we're going to release him without charge. Now they are embarking on a huge international manhunt, not just here in Berlin, but across Germany and across wider Europe to try and find this person, looking at all kinds of avenues like the CCTV network and intelligence reports to try and figure out who he is. So yes, crucial time was lost, and now they're trying to recoup that time.
And Nick, talk to us about Islamic State. They've claimed responsibility for this attack, but presumably authorities can't verify that until they find the suspect.
Yes, that is it's very difficult, really, but the Islamic State self-styled news agency late last night put out a very brief, almost a vague statement, but in essence what they were saying was that the person responsible for this attack on the Christmas market here in Berlin was, quote, a soldier of Islamic State. And we need to treat that with some caution. There's not a huge amount of evidence to suggest that that's true. It's not like Islamic State have released a video of the person responsible saying that they're planning to do this attack. And until we have something like that, it should be treated with caution. But the wider problem here in Germany is the growing sort of far-right message that's being peddled off the back of this, and the pressure that that puts on Chancellor Angela Merkel and her open-door immigration policy. But bubbling under all of this is a huge international manhunt which is ongoing here in Germany as we speak.
OK, Nick, thanks very much. More from Nick throughout the morning here on Sunrise as we get more details on that manhunt that's underway. Details have been emerging overnight about the victims of that attack. 12 people, of course, losing their lives. An Italian woman has been named by her family as one of those killed, 31-year-old Fabrizia Di Lorenzo. She's been missing since the attack on Monday night, and her mobile phone was found at the scene. We understand that her mother and brother are now travelling to the German city to give their DNA to authorities.
And we already know the name of the driver of the lorry which was hijacked, Lucas Urban, who was 37. But more detail is emerging about what happened before the atrocity. Police apparently reported in local media in Berlin as saying that the lorry's GPS at 3:45 showed the vehicle driving erratically, almost as if someone was learning to use it. It was driven into the market a few hours later. Lucas last spoke to his family at lunchtime when he was on a lunch break. That was the last time anyone heard from him. He was married with a son. He was stabbed and shot, the first victim of that horrific attack.